Hello, I'm Syerra Burnor, and my team and I will be presenting Charles B. Wheeler Downtown Airport. We'll be going over the background, management functions, marketing, human resources, the organization structure, and the different services they offer, and insurance. Charles B. Wheeler Downtown Airport. The identifier is MKC. It can handle up to 700 aircraft, and that's every day, taking off and landing. It is a 695-acre facility. It's used by general aviation and corporate operations as well, and it is located not too far from here, Kansas City, Missouri. So MKC offers a variety of services. It has a 24-hour tower and FBO. It also has maintenance, hangars, aircraft sales, flight training. It's just a whole bunch of different stuff there. So also, it's home to several other FBOs. You got AirShare, ATD, Atlantic, and that's just to name some of them. There's so much you can find at this airport. To get a better understanding of the role of the FBO, we're going to have a look at the background. August 17th, 1927, this airport was dedicated by Charles Lindbergh. He was an advisor and the pilot for transcontinental air transport, and he also predicted that this airport was going to become the air capital of the United States, and that was because of its location. It was nearly geographically in the center of the United States, and at the time, it was known as Kansas City Municipal Airport. And then later, in 1928, the passenger terminal was built for transcontinental air and rail operations, and this was ran by Transcontinental Air Transport and Western Air Express. A year later, April 1929, this airport did get the title Air Hub of America, and then sometime later, Transcontinental Air Transport merged with Maddox Airlines and Western Air Express, which then it became the Transcontinental and Western Air Incorporated. And then they decided to select Kansas City as their headquarters and built their headquarters in 1932. And later on, in the 1960s, this airport could no longer handle all the large commercial airplanes and the increase in traffic. So in November 1972, Kansas City International Airport was built, and then all the commercial air operations were transferred to there. So, and then later, October 1977, this airport was renamed to Kansas City Downtown Airport, and then on its 75th anniversary in 2002, it was renamed to Charles B. Wheeler in honor of the former mayor. And then later on in 2017, this airport also received a perfect FAA inspection. Now, finding more information about this airport is fairly simple. You can go on to their website at www.flymkc.com, and you can see that their website is got a nice layout. They have some nice photos to kind of give some appeal to it, and then the side menus is pretty easy to navigate. The very first page is you see the stuff that's usually the first stuff that you need to know, and it's really quick. So it tells you the services they offer, gas prices, weather, and then if you scroll further down, you can get a brief description of what the airport's all about, where they're located, and then just some current news, so stuff about what they're doing about COVID, some information that might be important if you're interested in flying drones. And then going through the menus, you can also find some more information about that might be important for the pilot, like field elevation, pattern altitude, runway lengths, etc. And then further through, you can find some more information about history, some old articles. You can get a good map of the airport and where all these services and different FBOs are located. Some contact information as well. And then there's a page of different links that's not exactly what the airport offers, but stuff that's like nearby organizations, some hotels, in the city guide. So if you're coming flying into Kansas City, some stuff that you might be interested in, like restaurants and attractions, And then further through, you can even find some aviation industry links that might be important for your pilot and crew. And not only is it pretty simple and easy to use just on your PC, but if you check it on a mobile device, they did a good job of keeping the layout to fit as well and still be easy to use.
Moving on to management functions, the Charles B. Wheeler Downtown Airport is owned by the Kansas City Aviation Department. Their mission statement is to provide outstanding airport services in a safe and cost-effective manner for the benefit of citizens, airlines, and customers. Some of the values of this airport include safety for the public and for the pilots, their economic efficiency, as they don't use any general tax fund, revenues for promotion, operation, or maintenance, and it's all sourced from the airport, and their dedication in maintenance and service. The leadership style of this airport leans more towards authoritarian, but it relies heavily on delegation. Because of the strict deadlines, regulations, and safety policies that need to be followed, delegating is essential to make things run smoothly. There's lots of moving parts within the airport, and you can't focus on them all. And for example, the Kansas City Aviation Department is divided into 18 separate divisions. It goes from divisions such as aircraft rescue and firefighting to the facility maintenance in the custodial division, cleaning toilets. Everything is important to run this airport. And moving on to marketing. As this airport began, it was a commercial airport, but since then, it has widened itself to a larger audience, including general aviation. The Kansas City Downtown Airport now focuses on corporate, charter, and recreational flying as well. Atlantic provides services for corporate, charter is represented by AirShare, and ATD can train pilots from general aviation and up. Some of the services that are provided at this airport are their 24/7 tower and facilities. They have available a full range of amenities from corporate to general aviation needs, such as GPUs and self-service fuel stations. From their several FBOs, they offer charter, fuel, maintenance, rental, sales, flight, training, and even more, such as courtesy cars. The issues standpoint, COVID-19 is one of the main concerns currently. There is less business from it as people are staying home or traveling less because of the safety risk that's involved and spreading COVID-19. Along with COVID-19, there's cleaning requirements that increase stress and demand. Another issue can be oil price, the fluctuations and volatility. As fuel prices increase, people may be less inclined to spend the extra money and go on these longer trips and to use their product. And looking down the road, as aviation is aiming to go green, as well as the car industry, it's important that the FBO keeps in mind that they need to adapt to new standards and requirements, and it will be challenging to move away from the fossil fuels. Because these are a majority of their income, it's something that is an essential adaptation in order to survive in the coming future.
Alright, to kick off our human resource section, first I'm going to talk about our pipeline program. Once a year, we assess our staffing situation in hope of filling any vacant positions on our team. We do follow a pipeline program, so most of our personnel are promoted from within, but we will undergo a round of new hires if needed. Next, moving on to our seasonal employees, with 3 major sports teams, Kansas City experiences a lot of incoming traffic, especially during the NFL season. As a result, we are forced to bring in part-time help, specifically during this time of year. Now for our new hire process. Our new hire process is pretty typical, as we begin with applications, then those who appear qualified are invited in for an interview, and the process is finished off with a round consisting of a background check and then contacting their references. If a candidate is then deemed most suitable for the job, they are offered the position and will begin training immediately. Now for our organization and administration section. Our legal structure, because of its many benefits, including limited on liability, easily transferable ownership, and tax advantages, we've decided to turn our business into a corporation. And for the internal structure, our corporation is arranged in a line and staff organizational structure because this creates an opportunity for specialization and better coordination between the manager, the employees, and the specialists. And now for customer service. Our customer service approach is pretty much highlighted by great customer service because it is a huge priority for us, as our goal is to make every experience a pleasant one. In hope of accomplishing this, we make all of our services as user-friendly as possible, whether it's the efficient layout of the ramp, the easily accessible flight services, or even the comforting smile of the young man behind the front desk. And lastly, procedures and guidelines are kind of a main point for us because the key to offering good service is implementing a sound blueprint for our employees to follow. Through proper procedures and guidelines, we're able to ensure that employees will always be in a position where they can operate in a polite and professional manner and tone, especially when dealing with upset customers.
Good morning, class. My name is Ryan England, and I will be covering chapters 9 and 11 for our group project. Our group decided to do Charles Wheeler Airport, and that's a personal favorite of mine just because I do my flight training out of there. That is a beautiful airport to fly in and out of, and it's kind of just a relaxing time trying to dodge skyscrapers and everything else. With that being said, I want to apologize for the background behind me. I am currently doing a bathroom remodel, and it would take longer than you would expect. So bear with me for about 4 minutes and we'll get through this. To start out, Charles Wheeler Airport was the first airport in Kansas City. It is a major hub for all business travelers and everything else. That has major thoroughfares, highways, buildings, you name it, Kansas City has it. And that's why Kansas City is one of the fastest growing cities in the country, I think. It was dedicated to Charles Lindbergh in 1927, and it just skyrocketed from there. TWA was there for the commercial aspect of it, and then just recently they have transformed into more of a privately owned single engine, twin engine airport. They have tons of services from everything. I apologize, that's my dog in the background. Trying to find a quiet place. They have tons of services from self-service fuel to signature fuels. They come, fill your own airplane up for you, or you can do it yourself, and they accept all major credit cards too. I personally do my flight training out of ATD, and they are hubbed in Charles Wheeler Airport, and they have ATD flight systems and ATD flight schools. Both are in the same house, so you can go there, get your flight training, and then become an instructor, and it's just that easy. So, and of course they have Atlantic Aviation and charter services, limo services. So the big business bigwigs, they come in, they can have everything there waiting for them, and then they can do their business meetings, go back home, or they can stay and enjoy the Kansas City nightlife. Not that it's too much to enjoy right now due to COVID, but we've all been here for over a year now. So I was looking at some studies saying that in roughly 2035 that we should be getting, just a significant increase in the amount of aircraft and the amount of actual operations done at Charles Wheeler Airport. So with that is big revenue for Kansas City, and then just more room for us to expand and grow. Currently they have 24-hour control tower, over 700 aircraft operations a day, which I thought was pretty incredible, being that you don't really see the little aircraft flying in and out of Kansas City that often. And FBO service roughly 300 aircraft a day as well. So that's just incredible that those guys can be such a small airport and have a heavy load. Honestly, with almost 700 jobs and $83 million in revenue, it's incredible how such a little airport can have such a big economic impact on Kansas City itself. $83 million is incredible for taxes, and that means that we can expand and truly try and make Kansas City a premier spot for people to go to. My next topic is insurance. I was actually kind of astonished the FAA doesn't require airports to have insurance. I figured with them controlling literally every aspect of flight, they would have some sort of liability. But they would be remiss to not have insurance. Insurance is a key component of any business and any business strategy. They have what's called a federal aid program. It's AIP, and for that grant money to be awarded, they typically do have to have some sort of insurance policy, and that's why most have multiple policies and not just a one-size-fits-all like a car insurance or mortgage insurance. They have airport premises liability, and that just covers the owner and the operator of pretty much any maintenance liability: elevators, slips and falls, escalators, even if they're not actually physically at the airport. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for taking the 4.5 minutes to listen, and hopefully you guys gained some knowledge about Charles Wheeler Airport. Again, shameless plug, ATD Flight Systems, ATD Flight School. Go there. They're phenomenal, and they have a ton of aircraft to choose from. You guys have a good day.
And that concludes our presentation over Charles B. Wheeler Airport. It was dubbed as the Central Hub of America, and I still believe it's just as important as it was then, now. It is a thriving community of general aviation and corporate aviation as well, and it is definitely of huge benefit to the neighboring communities and Kansas City. This presentation was brought to you by Logan Cochran, Ryan England, Cameron Fields, and me, Syerra Burnor. We all like to thank you for sticking around and watching.